Breda here with a bite size. 10 years ago, my life changed. A situation began to develop in my life that I discovered I could not control. 3 years later, it had begun to spiral. I had one response, which was, I cannot cope with this. I didn't feel I had the skills or the tools or the experience to cope with it. But my second, better response was, I need to learn how to cope with this. There are skills and there are knowledge somewhere in this world that I do not have yet, and I need to go and find them. Now, emotional intelligence was always a topic that I was interested in anyway, because I am really into leadership. And I've been studying leadership and practicing leadership for many, many years. I now teach people about becoming a better leader. And emotional intelligence and empathy are key topics in there anyway. But I began to start to learn about mind mastery and mind magic. I read and I researched and I started to test my own thinking, and I started to notice so much around the power of our thoughts as human beings and how our thoughts translate into our behaviours, our actions and our outputs, and then how our emotions fit into that whole puzzle. And it has absolutely transformed my life. I now know how to transform other people's lives as well. But my message today is an ask to you to try and start to follow what I have been doing so that you can do this for yourself. And what happens is you will begin to become the best version of yourself that you never knew existed. People say to me all the time, oh, I'm just like that. And my argument back is, no, you're not. You have a suite of conditioned beliefs in that mind of yours that is driving all of your decision making. Now, if we change that suite of self-beliefs, you will be making better decisions. You will get better outcomes. Your life improves enormously, 360 degrees in work and at home. So what do we do in mind mastery? What I've learned is everything is a process. And in the corporate world, in the business world, we can deal with processes. So what we're going to teach you today is the process of how your outcomes and your behaviours will work backwards. Think about the behaviours and the outcomes that you would love to be having in your life. Think about the version of the person you would love to become. What kind of life would they be leading? What kind of work life would they be leading? How would they be impacting the world? And then what I want you to do is think backwards. Because what happens is your senses are at work every day. So the process starts with your senses, your experiences, and then your senses. Your senses are taking in information every day. You are listening to conversations every day. You are listening to news. You are listening to lyrics. You are reading pieces. You are bringing in information, whether you realize it or not. You're observing other people's behaviors and you're taking in some of their thoughts and views. All of that in through your senses goes into your mind. Your mind is where you keep your thoughts running. Your thoughts get influenced by everything that those senses of yours have absorbed. And that is now in the mix in your thinking. Then your thinking becomes how you feel. So if you have experienced a conversation, perhaps that was unhappy or difficult or a little bit of conflict, your thoughts are now in that same type of mode. Your emotions follow, right? You feel upset, sad, distracted, confused perhaps, and then what happens is your behaviours follow that. So that's the process. Senses bring in our information. We feed our minds every day without realising it through words and pictures, graphics, sound, visual, and in it goes to our thought process. It's like an engine. Our thoughts begin to become influenced by that, and our emotions follow, which is then where we get our behaviours and actions. And that's who you really are. So what if I got into your thought process and I said only positive thoughts and only healthy thoughts and only quality thoughts are allowed in there today? What will happen is your mind machine gets all of these positive, healthy thoughts absorbed, And that's what starts to influence your thinking in there. Your emotions will follow naturally. It's just a process. So you will feel good. You will feel positive. You will feel strong. What will happen then is your behaviors change. Your actions change because you feel strong, positive, capable, confident. That's how this process works, folks. You've never been taught this in school, nor have many of your kids. But what we do not want is a society that doesn't understand this process and therefore cannot work it to better themselves, to benefit them and those around them. There is a world around us of anxiety, depression, and overthinking. I see it in minds all the time. Now that I understand minds and emotions so well, I can see it in people like that. I can also understand how I have been mechanically operating as well and how I work. So if I want to change my outputs, my actions or my results, then I need to change my thinking. If I want to change my thinking, I need to change the inputs that I'm allowing into my mind. And I can control that because I can decide whose conversation that I will get involved with, what media I will listen to, what lyrics I will or will not listen to, what I will feed my mind is up to me. So you are in full control of your emotions and your thoughts. You just may not have realized how to do it. So you can master your mind, you can master your emotions. You can regulate your mind, you can regulate your emotions. Your mind has 86 billion cells running constantly. It's the most amazing muscle you have in you from head to toe. And yet most of us don't understand the mechanics of it or how it works. So there is a how-to in a few minutes for you. If you're interested in this, I want you to start following topics that I have mentioned here. I want you to look through some of the material that I've been putting up on my social media and people like me who are trying to share this information to teach people how to get themselves out of that average space where you feel like you can't control your mind or your emotions into a place where you can control your mind, your emotions, and your life. The air is better up there, folks. If you put in the work and try to do this for me, you will start to get results. And I am telling you, you will amaze yourself. Everybody that I do this with is always fascinated of the amount that was going on in their mind and they didn't realize. And now they know how to work it. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you today. I hope some of you will take some of what I've just shared with you and put it into use. You will try it, you will read, you will research, you will start to learn and start to open the door to a fabulous life for yourself. Because you know why? Because you deserve it. You are worthy and you are valuable. Now you go and learn how this thing works for you and start impacting those processes in a healthy way for you and go and absolutely slay that life that you got. Talk soon.